The salary was good. The job was stable. The future was predictable. And every single morning you woke up knowing deep in a place you tried not to look that this was not the life you were supposed to be living. So you did the thing that everyone around you said was crazy. You walked away from the salary for the dream. What happened next was not what anyone expected, including you. The desk was yours for 4 years. Same chair, same monitor, same view of the same parking structure through the same window. You were good at the job, genuinely good, which made it simultaneously easier and harder. Easier because you succeeded without it costing you everything. Harder because success in the wrong direction is still the wrong direction. In the bottom drawer of the desk, the one nobody else ever opened, was a notebook. Not a work notebook, the other kind. The kind where you wrote down what you actually wanted your life to look like. Business ideas, creative projects, things you had been meaning to start for years. The notebook that existed in parallel with the salary as a kind of promise you kept making to yourself and kept not keeping. The gap between the notebook and the desk was the gap between the life you were living and the life you wanted. And every year you did not close that gap, it felt slightly more permanent. The longer you stayed in the salary, the more the salary felt like the answer rather than a temporary solution. Until the morning you opened the drawer, looked at the notebook, and asked yourself a question you had been avoiding for 4 years. If not now, then when? And if not when, then what? And if what, then what kind of person does that make you in 10 years when the notebook is still in the drawer and the desk is still in the same place and the window still shows the same parking structure? That question is what resignation letters are made of. The first month without the salary is not what you imagined. You imagined freedom, and freedom is there. But it arrives alongside something nobody in the inspirational content ever mentions. The specific terror of being entirely responsible for your own income for the first time in your adult life. The savings are real but finite. They are not infinite. Every month you do not generate income, the runway shortens. And while you are working on the dream, genuinely, fully, with all the focus you could never give it during the after-work hours, it is not yet paying you. The work is real. The progress is real. The income is not yet. Month 3, the first rejection arrives. Not the first negative comment or the first setback, the first real professional rejection of the dream itself. Someone says no. Clearly, specifically, no. And in the corporate job, you had the salary to soften that kind of thing. Here, you have only the notebook, and the decision, and the dwindling runway, and the question of whether you were right to do this at all. Month 4, the first income arrives from the dream. It is small, genuinely small, the kind of number that at the salary you would not have noticed. But it is the most significant money you have ever received, because it is proof. Not proof that you will succeed, that is still to be determined. Proof that the thing is real. That someone in the world valued it enough to pay for it. That the notebook was not fantasy. Month 8. The dream income covers your basic expenses. Not your former salary, your basic expenses. But it covers them. You are no longer burning savings, you are sustaining. And sustaining is the bridge between the leap and the landing. Here is what following a dream actually requires that nobody tells you at the beginning. It requires more discipline than the salary did. In the corporate job, the structure existed around you. Someone else decided when you needed to be places. Someone else defined what done looked like. Here you define everything, and the freedom to define everything is simultaneously the most liberating and the most demanding condition you have ever worked in. It requires learning skills you do not have. The thing you are good at, the creative or technical or service capability that sits at the center of the dream, is not sufficient by itself. You will need to learn how to sell, how to market, how to manage money as a business owner, rather than an employee. These skills, can be learned. They are not pleasant to learn when you are also trying to produce the thing itself, but they are required. It requires tolerating uncertainty at a level that the salary completely insulated you from. The salary arrived on a specific date in a specific amount. Income from the dream arrives unpredictably, in variable amounts, connected to your own performance in ways that the salary never was. This uncertainty is the price of the freedom. It is real. It does not go away. What changes is your relationship to it. And it requires something that the salary made easier to avoid: full accountability. When the dream does not work, there is nobody else to look at. No system, no manager, no market condition that is fully responsible. The accountability is yours. This is terrifying at first. And then it becomes one of the most clarifying things you have ever experienced, because it removes all the excuses and leaves work. Year 1, the dream income matches the former salary. Year 2, it exceeds it. Not because the dream was easy, because you did the work that was required, learned what was necessary, and stayed when the easier thing would have been to go back. But the income is not the most important thing that changes. The most important thing is Sunday. Sunday used to be the day the dread arrived, the specific anticipatory anxiety of returning to something you had chosen to endure rather than to pursue. Now Sunday is a work day if you want it to be, and a rest day if you need it to be. The choice is yours in a way it never was. And that choice, that specific, genuine, daily choice over how you spend your time and energy, is what you actually traded the salary for, not the money. The choice. There is a notebook in a drawer somewhere near you. Maybe it is physical. Maybe it is a folder on your desktop. Maybe it is just a recurring thought that you have trained yourself to dismiss because the salary is good and the job is stable and the future is predictable. The question is not whether to quit tomorrow. The question is whether you have a plan for closing the gap between the desk and the notebook. Whether you are preparing for the leap, even if you are not ready to take it yet. Whether you are moving toward the life in the notebook or simply away from discomfort toward the next comfortable thing. The salary is not the enemy. The salary is a tool. The question is what you are using it to build. What is in your notebook?